Now you listen here, Jimmy. The only way you're gonna save yourself from those nightmares is if you stay a virgin to those horror picture shows they're showing down at the theater. You stay away from those films, you hear? I don't know, Tom. I kinda like those movies. You know, they give me kind of a thrill you can't get from those hot rod ones you're always watching. I don't care about the nightmares. I love them.
Welcome back to another episode of Horror Movie Virgins. It's your host, Daniel, and your co-host,
Kelsey.
We are joined by a very special guest today, my little brother, Mika. Say hey.
Can I curse?
Yeah, you can. Oh, yeah, we
What's
can
up,
curse.
faggots?
Perfect.
Yeah, perfect. So we are doing, what's the name of the title?
We do this every single time.
All
We've
Fun
done
and
it
Games.
3 times.
Yeah.
Yes.
All Fun and Games. It's the movie that Kelsey showed me a trailer to the other night when she was over and we were watching movies. She's like, oh, I want to do this. And I was like, when is it out? And it said September
1st.
September 1st. And so it was already out. So I was like, oh, fuck. And so right away that night, I bought it on Apple TV. And we were, when this Roadcaster was ordered, it was already ordered by then. And we were like, oh, we're going to record that first when this comes in. And then we ended up doing the other movie first. But when my brother was telling me he's coming out here, I was like, oh, we're going to bring him. I wanted him to do an episode with us. So here we are. So Michael, while you're here, what got you into horror, if anything?
Well, because we grew up together.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I mean, in here, I could like look at the movie collection that's just been like coming together since we were like younger in like high school.
Yeah.
But I feel like, yeah, I don't know. I just remember like watching like Feast
Yes.
and stuff like ages ago. But I think like in October we would try to make it a point to like watch horror movies every night.
Oh yeah.
And I also think just like being a Libra, I feel like entitled to like spooky season.
Hell yeah. Oh yeah.
And
Your Michael or Mika's birthday is this month too, October 21st, which is a
No way, I
weekend.
didn't know that.
Yeah, cuspy.
Yeah.
But
It is.
yeah, I feel very entitled to fall in scary movies.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I
you
think I
have
just
to.
like not even scary movies, just like horror movies. Halloween.
Yeah, Halloween.
Mhm.
Like we were talking about.
Thriller.
What were we talking about earlier? What movie was that?
Oh,
Oh.
Was it Scream?
No, the witch one.
Oh, the witch one.
I
The
love-
you
Practical
two were
Yes,
Magic.
practical magic,
Practical
not horror
Magic.
movies. Shit like that, I feel entitled to.
Yes.
Yeah, anything has to
that's
do with the season.
mine. Yep.
It
So I
kind of
think it's
is
that.
in October.
Yeah.
So is
definitely.
there like any type of like horror movie that you are drawn to more, like slasher, creature feature,
I feel like I just like good ones.
just anything good, right?
Good ones.
Yeah, I feel like I love a campy one. Like we just mentioned Scream earlier. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
Scream's campy. It's like not scary, and it's just like very regular.
Yeah.
And I just like think those are like fun and like kind of silly and like cozy to watch. I love things with like good soundtracks.
Oh,
that, like,
that's a
you,
good one.
Like
Mhm.
feel maybe it's a little like more poetic, but I just like when you could like feel it. I
Yeah.
guess. I feel like horror movies nowadays are like date night horror movies or something.
Majority
That's
of
a
them.
good way
Where
to
they're
put
like
it.
not too like scary or like they all kind of follow like a weird formula. But I love like earlier also we mentioned I like asked about Signs. That
Oh
holds
yeah.
up.
Yes.
We were talking about how well that aged.
It's great.
It's still
still
great.
spooky. The sounds.
And what you just mentioned, the
it's-
soundtrack.
Yeah, no, it's literally perfect in my eyes.
Like,
it's beautiful too. I
A
think
good
it's
thing
gorgeous.
to take away from Signs, like that scene where they're in Mexico at the party,
So scary.
and all it does is it walks
I know.
past, and the soundtrack for that
Yeah.
makes that
Yeah.
little bit terrifying. Like I'm getting
Horrible
goosebumps
CGI.
thinking about it. Yeah,
or
horrible
like just
CGI.
when the wind's blowing and it's like it's the song that they play every time in the like the quiet parts. That's like
Oh, in Signs?
or like I
Yeah.
don't know how it goes, but it's like you just feel that in
Yeah.
your bones.
Have you seen the movie Barbarian?
No.
While
Oh
you're-
wait, yeah.
So
Yeah, yeah.
remember, I've talked about it in a past episode where I did the intro where like
Yeah.
she's in that sketchy neighborhood and the soundtrack is like heavy and scary
I
and
love
it's
that.
going towards the car. And then once you get in the car with her, it like stops
Oh, it's
because it
okay.
brings you that outside the car is where the danger is. And like
Yeah.
you're saying, anything with a good soundtrack, I
Yeah.
agree. It the soundtrack makes you feel like you're there or you're feeling what the characters are feeling.
Also things that are just like visually beautiful. Like
Yeah.
The Shining is like whenever I want to feel cozy,
Mhm.
I like that's a go-to.
Yeah.
Like it's just a beautiful movie.
Yeah, those in like Midsummer too, I think is a good
I didn't
example.
like that one.
You didn't,
You
like,
didn't like
it?
it?
It was so
Oh,
boring.
It is, but it's
I
like
just like
what I liked
Yeah.
about it was the director or the creators of that. were saying, I want to make like a horror movie that takes place during the day because everything's at night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they wanted to, sorry, I got a burp. They wanted to go away from
Right.
that. And that's what they did. And I liked it. But
I also like things that are like fucked up and unsettling. Like I feel like
Feast.
But Feast was like also super campy. Like it's kind of like
Yeah.
jokey. I feel like it. I don't know if this is a horror movie. It's that like movie Green Room with like the punks who like get murdered by
yeah,
Nazis.
that is definitely a green.
That
is
like
definitely a
makes
horror
me
movie.
feel sick to watch.
It does.
And I love movies that make me feel like
Uncomfortable.
yeah, like alien movies do that. I think usually,
Mhm.
but like movies that like are just like
Gory.
I don't know if
Bloody.
it's gory, just like really real feeling or something.
Oh yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is like why I think alien movies trip me out. Like the Phoenix Lights, like
Yes.
that shit
Mhm.
scares me because like we know aliens are real,
Right.
whatever.
Now we do.
But like,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
But like, ooh, like that's like more tangible than like a ghost or a killer to me.
Yeah.
And it's
I
crazy
guess a
because we
killer
know
is
this
kind of
house is
tangible, but
haunted. We know all of us in this room
The
and
ghost
people.
is
yeah,
that's an old subject, I guess.
Yeah.
We
But-
just live with it.
But he like a lot of the listeners and even I talk about like how those alien movies, like the ones
Yeah.
the Phoenix Lights,
yeah,
terrify me. The movie,
that
like
shit fucks me up.
the one you just watched, I was terrified to watch.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was.
The first time we watched The Fourth Kind, here,
Yes.
we all slept in the same bedroom with my mom and our friend Steven.
We literally just talked about that, like
Yeah.
because we just recorded for that movie you just watched.
That
well,
shit still that yeah.
we talked about that, and I talked about when remember Alex was here and he ran home.
Oh yeah, I ran all the way home. Yeah.
But what Rika was saying too, like this movie collection I've been building since like high school. Like friends would bring movies. Like I guarantee you, some of these horror movies in here are ones that friends left here, or ones that
Yeah.
we would buy. Like when the Quarantine came out, I bought Quarantine 1 and 2.
Oh, that's one of the ones that's also kind of unsettling. Or Wreck.
Right.
What's the one?
it's originally Wreck.
I
Is
think
the
there's
original.
a Wreck one where they're like at a wedding
Mhm.
and then like the whole family's just like eating each other.
I haven't
Ugh.
seen the
they,
all
like,
the Wrecks.
Then like all the kids get onto like a bus and then they all get eaten. It's
What
really
the fuck?
it's morbid.
I gotta watch it. But
It's like at a wedding, yeah.
like Mika remembers, we used to do like this pretty much without the podcast part with all of our
Yeah.
friends here. We'd always
Mhm.
used to sit and watch movies and shit together, and that's how we built this collection I have. And now that everything's digital, I do have a lot more digital and less DVD. And that VHS is actually yours. I found it in the garage with
The
your
Night
stuff.
of the Living Dead.
Yeah,
I love a quiet. I was just looking at that too.
Yeah, it's yours.
was
I
thinking
threw it
about
in
that
there.
Too. There's a lot of like good like quiet horror movies. I feel like that
Yeah.
just like
Mhm.
I don't know.
because we used to watch the black and white ones. Like Denise used to come over all the time, and we would watch like old Vincent Price movies and Universal horror like all
Yeah.
the time.
There's like a weird stillness that
Yeah.
like I feel like they didn't feel like a pressure to like fill the space with a bunch of unnecessary. I feel like a lot of
That's
movies like
so
play into
true.
like the desire of spectacle nowadays.
Yeah,
you know,
of
like
course.
we all love like bright colors, quick, like whatever, like,
Uh-huh.
sensory overload, which is like sometimes fun.
Mm-hmm.
But I love when it's just like there's like awkward like I don't know like an
Just
awkward
complete-
zombie movie from like the olden times when it's just like
Quiet.
a 3-minute clip of like dumb zombies like sauntering through a field,
Yeah.
It's
Especially
like,
with no
come
noise
on.
and stuff. Yeah,
It's so weird to
I
see.
love that. Yeah, I mentioned. I think I've mentioned it way earlier in an early episode that what I liked about the classics too is back then that was scary to them.
Oh yeah.
And if you sit
Mhm.
and watch it, like they're not scary. There's no jump scares and stuff. It's crazy to think that those kind of things is what scared people
Yeah.
back in the day.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Right.
But are there any like franchise? I mean, we kind of went over. There's franchises you like. One of the things I like that he mentions Feast is one. That was one we were
Feast is
all
funny.
all obsessed with when we were younger.
That one's fucked up.
That's fucked up. Like there's the baby scenes in the second one. This guy like he goes down. He hears a baby crying, and everyone's sitting there, and the guy's like, "I'm not just gonna sit around. I'm gonna go save this baby." And so he jumps down, and he's like juking these monsters out, like running. He goes and grabs the baby. Or no, he goes and gets the baby, and that's when the monsters strike. And so he's juking him out with this baby, and he's trying to climb up there, and he can't get there. He can't juke the monsters. And he's looking at this baby, and the baby's sitting there smiling, and he's like, "I'm sorry, baby." And he throws it up in the air and then keeps running. And it's like a slow-mo of the baby like laughing and crying like through the air. And it lands on the ground and it's like bleeding. And then the
Oh.
monsters come and eat it.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
That is terrible.
It is and then it's crazy because the first one's actually really good. It's Matt Damon and Ben Affleck produced it together.
I didn't know that.
I
Yeah.
did not know that.
That's so funny.
Yeah, they either produced it or they directed it, but it was them two. And then the second and third one, I think Ben Affleck stepped away, or it was both of them. But the second one is definitely not as good, but definitely more morbid. And then the third one is just off the rails. Like I think it's an awful movie, and then when it ends, like the ending is just like I could tell. Like I mentioned it in the episode. I can tell you the ending, and like you wouldn't believe it. Like how does this monster movie end that way? And it's still like it makes no sense. Even like a mariachi guy comes out and starts singing during the credits, and he's like, you thought we were gonna tell you what these monsters came from, but fuck you. Like it's
Wow.
it's so bad. But like that was a movie we all in high school like loved to watch.
Yeah.
It was so fun.
I'm gonna have to watch it. I have never seen that.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's just abstract and like it's like I think
It's like
that's
a gore comedy.
yeah, it's definitely a gore comedy. I would say that the first one is like probably the bloodiest movie I've ever seen. Daybreak, that vampire one, that one's like on my top 5 most bloody movies, I think.
Really?
I think so. I mean, what else? You've seen a lot of the stuff
I
I've seen.
guess at the end when they're all attacking the brother,
Yeah.
it's just completely filled with blood.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And it's just like so much blood. And it's not like gory, it's just like, and then in Feast, it's kind of like that. It's just a ton of blood. And
Literally just buckets of blood.
just buckets of blood. Like there's a part where he like, the monster like hammer smashes with his hands this guy's head, and it's just like pouring. Like it looks like someone poured buckets.
See,
over
I
him.
love when a horror movie is just like not. I just love, there's just like campy shit. Like it's like so obviously like just buckets.
Yeah.
Like there's probably like some like nerd who's like getting paid nothing to like dump
Buckets
literal like
of
orange
just-
Home Depot buckets. Like
Of fake blood
Yeah, of,
everywhere.
like-
Well, that's why like
Which
new
is
movies
so
is
funny.
mostly like CGI,
right,
trying to scare you.
It's rough. Yeah.
Where this one is like physical things.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's the other thing that I do. I mean, there's a lot of CGI now in these movies, and it looks good, but man, does practical effects look better?
Yeah.
Like The Thing, the John Carpenter's The Thing. Did you watch? We were talking about this. You
I
haven't
think
seen
so.
that one yet.
No.
That one, the practical effects are terrifying.
Oh,
and it's
because we were
so-
watching a different movie and they were watching that.
Yeah,
and you
they
were
were
saying
watch-
it's disgusting.
Yeah, it was showing the scene
Yeah.
when he's like doing CPR and he goes
Yeah.
into the chest.
What I think's great about like practical effects is like it's like technically like a real thing.
Yeah.
You know? Like it's
Oh,
not
yeah.
like a dude in like a green suit or a gray suit. It's
Pretending
like,
to be a
it's still like
velociraptor.
technically real, which
Yeah.
is like weird to me
Mhm.
to think about. Like I don't know, then that almost like plays into this like weird like fantasy thing where you can't like deny the possibility of the like
it
creature
existing.
or monster's existence
Yeah,
because somebody was able to fabricate it, and like it's weird and I always love thinking about, like I was thinking about that with Signs. I just watched it like last week or something, and I was like looking at this and I was like, if they just like made those CGI like things like aliens into suits, which like seems like it would have been easy.
yeah.
I don't really know though, I don't do fucking special
Yeah.
effects. But I have decent enough of like a fabrication background that it's like that seems like easy-ish, and it would have been fucking like
Way
10
better.
times more creepy. It's still creepy, and it was creepy as fuck then, but like it would have just like, I don't know, seeing like a suit, like seeing like a real thing that isn't like when you I don't know, like a fucking costume is scarier to me than like a
I
I don't
agree.
know.
I
It's
agree
weird.
100%.
It's just weird. I don't know why.
That's just
I
like,
guess it's like more uncanny or something.
yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
And what's cool is it's
Ooh.
something that's I feel like
like-
sits with you. Like when we were watching that movie and they showed that, like there's a lot of movies, or even when you go to Universal and they every time I've gone, I mean I haven't been here in like 3 years. I haven't gone to one in 3 years, but they used to have like a screen and would play famous movie scenes, and they would play that scene from The Thing, and it was always practical effects stuff that they would show. You don't see a lot of CGI stuff get reshown.
Right.
Like, oh, look how amazing this scene is.
Right.
Because it's all done on CGI versus like Michael said, someone had to fabricate that shit. And if you watch just that one scene, it's crazy how many moving parts and shit happens in that scene.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I like practical effects more. Granted, it's probably more expensive than it is to pay a couple guys to sit and do CGI.
Yeah.
And with CGI, you can get away with more, I think. And that's why CGI is bigger now. But that's just my opinion. I don't know. I don't work in the industry, so I could be wrong. But
It could be half and half.
Yeah.
A lot of the movies now, I think they make them look as remotely close as they can,
Right.
and then
mhm.
CGI the rest of
Right.
it.
Right.
Yeah,
right,
that's
right.
true. But yeah, so the movie today.
I love a tangent.
Yeah. Oh man,
happens.
we have an episode that's like an hour long
It was bad.
because
That's good.
we couldn't stop.
That's
But we were both
sign
drunk.
me up.
Because I drink. Every episode, if you don't know as viewers or listeners, we drink all the time. Like it's either we already been drinking and then we do
Yeah.
it, or we're drinking and we did. I think it was Pandorum That episode is the one that's like almost an hour long.
We drank through the whole movie, and then we're like, oh, we'll just record. We would not shut the hell up.
Yeah, and we were already
Okay.
drinking we were day drinking, recorded.
Yeah.
That's a really good fucking example of practical effects.
Oh, Pandorum.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah.
that's
That was a
so true.
Those
fantastic
fucking like
movie.
creatures, those like weird like
Mhm.
I forgot that's not
hyper evolved
CGI
humans
either.
are like scary, and all they did to like make them a little weird was like make them twitch and shit and like speed up.
Yeah.
Like, those motherfuckers are scary.
Yeah.
They're
Mhm.
weird and creepy,
Mm-hmm.
and they just like slice bitches open.
And
Yeah.
isn't it a great movie?
Yeah,
I love that
weird.
movie.
We really liked it. Yeah.
I rewatched all the time, which is crazy. And like what she said was she saw the like movie poster was just the arm that says it,
Yeah.
and she had no idea. She's like, "Oh, that's
I was gonna watch it, and then I never did. And
Right.
like, you have to watch this one right
Yeah.
now.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah." Because we were drinking, and I was like, "We gotta watch it. It's so good."
Get drunk and review horror movies.
Yeah, but yeah, so yeah, tangents. But this one looks very good. Like I said, Kelsey showed it to me, and I was so stoked because it looks good. Watching the trailer again, it kind of reminds me of kind of like a Wes Craven movie, like kind of like where like how Scream
Yeah.
and what was the one he did, like My Soul to Take, I think, where it's like
Yeah.
there's kids. It's kind of like the same thing where it's young kids and someone's a killer or something. But this one, it's more like there's a possession involved. Which what it feels like, it's kind of like that, like a Wes Craven meets like something supernatural.
When I first saw it, I thought all of them would eventually get possessed, but it looks like from just the trailer, it's just the one person.
Yeah, I gotta say from the trailer too, like it's one of the things that horror movies do that I'm not a fan of. I've never been a fan. When they find something weird, why do
my
they
God.
always read it? Like I understand reading it, but why do they always got to read it out loud? Like today, your daughter found that note in the planner, and she
Yes.
said, "What does it say?" And I'm
Yes.
sitting there. Did I read any of it out loud? I read it, and I was like, "Oh,
That's
it says
so
this."
scary. What did you find?
Oh,
It's like a piece of paper that was just thrown back there. Oh, I think it was on the wood that you had out
Oh,
there.
was
Yeah.
it like something that I left years ago?
I think so. It was in the planner.
That's
and
creepy,
it
though.
said like a cab, and then
Yeah.
something for it said something for you. So I knew it wasn't like no
Okay,
possession.
okay.
So I'm
Yeah.
sitting there, and it said a cab.
She's like, "What is this?"
That
She's
was
like,
probably
what-
like a 4th of July explosive prop that
Yeah.
we used.
So she read it. She's
But
like, "What does
still
this
scary.
say?" And I read it in my head, and then I look, and then Kelsey's like, "What does it say?" I said, "It says all cops are bastards." And she's like, "What?" So, but like that's what I'm saying. Like in this, like
But don't
no-
risk it.
nobody reads it out loud. That's like the movie.
White
Why?
people.
Why do you read the Latin? Why do you read the Latin out loud on the sketchy book?
I just throw shit away.
The one beginning part when he reads the knife, it was very much like Evil Dead, where they find the book.
Right.
They're like, "I'm gonna read this."
Yeah.
Yeah,
It sounds like
why?
a really good idea.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. I do. Did you see? Have you seen Evil Dead Rise? The
No, what's
newest one.
that? No, I don't think
It's
so.
the newest
Oh
one.
my god,
We
it
have to
is
do that one
so
too.
good. I've been dying to do an
see it.
episode, but everyone's seen it, and you're gonna be here for 2 weeks, so you're watching.
I'm
We're
chilling.
doing it.
Yeah, I have
We should
time.
watch it. I'm
I
gonna
would
be
love
it for
to.
Halloween. Just wait till you see it.
That's exciting.
It's great.
Man, I kind of want to watch that. Oh,
I
no,
think
we're
that's
gonna
a
watch
good
this.
example too. Those are both all really beautiful. Like
Evil
they have
Dead?
like really nice scenes.
Oh,
Like,
that's
This
know,
one is good too.
that
The
might be-
It's
soundtrack for
fun.
this
Those
movie is
might be-
fantastic.
I would love to watch.
all of those are definitely in my top 5 most bloody. Even the not this newest one, but the other one. Like it literally, there's a scene where it's raining blood.
That-
That's
just-
one of my
just as
favorite.
much.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, for some reason, is just one of my favorite like horror movie scenes when she like shoves the chainsaw into her stump,
Oh, yeah.
and then it's just like red
wait.
and like pouring
it's
blood,
raining.
and it's just pretty. Like,
It's
and then
so
she's like sawing her brother.
Well,
in half or
visually,
something.
it's beautiful.
yeah.
This one does that too, pretty good.
Yeah.
And it's funny
I would
in,
love to
in
watch.
this one, there's literally a scene where they're in the elevator, and you're like the cliche, like the elevator
Yeah,
starts
yeah.
bleeding. It does that, but it fills all the way to the
up.
top, and they're like drowning in it.
That
But
makes
the,
me feel
so good.
sick.
yeah,
So good.
and it's so good because that's tons of blood.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
like what's
Ugh, love it.
what's the movie? Oh my god, Michael just said The Shining. Where all the
Yeah.
it's kind of
It's
like
very
that
reminiscent of that.
because even the
Sick.
elevator like opens up, of course,
Mhm.
because
Nice.
they're main characters, and it like does that kind of thing.
Nice.
But yeah,
We should watch that one then. That one's good.
we'll do an episode on that because I wanted to do it before I saw it, but I went all the way to Oxnard to meet up with Rafa and his girl to see it,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, we should just record it on my phone before we see it. But like I was so hungover, so instead we walked to like a bar so I can get a Bloody Mary before we went to the movie. I forgot what I did the night before. It was something with the guys. Like I went hungover as shit, and I like drove all the way out there to go see a movie with them.
Fuck that.
Yeah, but yeah, so I'm ready to take off and go watch this.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right, fuck yeah, guys. We'll be
It's
right
okay.
back, and we will be back with spoilers. You know the drill. And we are back.
Yes.
All right, Kelsey, we want to hear from you because you left early
I did.
and we finished the movie without you
Mm-hmm.
and both said kind of agreed. We didn't really say much, but Mika said something and I was like,
Oh shit.
I agree. But that was it. So we want to hear your opinion on the movie.
I'd like to say that I liked it. I didn't really like it. I thought it was it's leaning on the side of being a little lame.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they built up a lot of what was going to happen, and then it just went, okay, we're done. And I was like, that's it?
Yeah, because I think even when you left, we were halfway. And you were
Mhm.
like, oh, we're almost done.
You said you only have 30 minutes left, and I was like, that's it? There's more? And then I watched it when I got home, and I think they could have made the storyline a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I got to the part where they took the knife back to the house.
Yeah.
And the witch was like, now they're going to play with him forever. And they were like, what are we going to do? So you automatically go back to your house to go find your cursed brother,
Yeah.
who's dragged bodies to their house now.
Oh, see, I missed that.
Okay, so when they are trying to find him and they're playing tag with the flashlight,
Yeah.
they open up a thing and he had put a dead body in there.
No, I remember that, but I
Yeah.
just didn't remember if he brought all of them there.
No, not all of them, just him. I'm like, so you dragged him all the way there? For what? To piss off the sister because that was her boyfriend? Okay, I get that part.
Yeah.
And then they saved him, obviously. They got the little demon out of him. And the sister's like, I'm going to save you. Thanks, Nancy.
Yo, yeah, I keep
was a-
forgetting
that was
that
a
that
real
was
big help.
Nancy.
You got it. Then she's like, I'm going to figure it out. Okay, I figured it out. What? What do we do? And
Yeah.
the little brother's like, well, no, I'm going to figure it out. Okay, cool. Somebody just fucking kill him or something. And then, they make the demon come out. They get rid of him. They think so. And then I thought it was really lame that the brother was like, he turned himself in. Why?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Who would have caught him?
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
For all he could have said was like, the fucking uncle lives in the basement. He's a sad motherfucker.
Yeah, because he
Hung himself.
Yeah, he hung himself after he killed everybody.
There you go. But the brother was like, I don't know what to do. This is so... Move on.
Well, the big thing, too, I remember I was saying, like, dude, you live in Salem. Why? Like, that place has history. Why would you find a knife made out of human bone and then fuck with it?
Hey, I brought this home. Can we
Literally.
play with it?
Yes.
You
Out of all the
can't ever
places.
come back inside my house if you do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
Where'd you find that? Oh, there's this abandoned house way far into the field.
Literally, come on.
Yeah.
It spoke to me.
Acting up.
What?
Ew.
It-
and then, yeah.
And then
no.
it's speaking to you and you want to fucking fuck with it. But yeah, I didn't. He said right away when the movie ended, he goes, dumb. And I was
I
like,
said bad.
oh, bad. And I
Yeah.
was like,
Not like it.
I didn't like it either.
They could have added way more into that. Either more plot line or more killing.
Yeah.
Also, like, the killing was like, it was like a 5-second clip of somebody getting stabbed, and then it was like
In the
over, and
hay.
it's like literally that
Yeah.
was so fucking.
And it was
dumb. That made
everyone
me so mad.
at once.
It
Yeah.
bummed me out.
He killed everybody at once.
It was so ridiculous.
And then that was it.
literally in the span of like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It was like,
When he had the knife to the girl's neck.
Yeah.
And she's like, you have to let her go. She's going to play, isn't she? I would have been like, shut the fuck up. And killed her. Then went after the girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He obviously does not care.
No.
Just keep killing people.
Yeah.
Keep going.
yeah,
And then the other thing too, like I gotta say the best part was though when they went back to the house
Mm-hmm.
and then the ghost lady like appeared. That was when I was like, ooh, this is kind of cool. Maybe this is gonna come back.
That
Because I
the
already was
only-
over it.
That was the only time I got scared is when she started screaming at them to keep reading the book.
Yeah.
That
Right.
was about the only time I
But that
got
was
scared.
cool. That was good though.
Mhm.
Like that's when I was like, okay, maybe this movie can redeem itself. Because I was already over it. I was fucking around on my
Yeah.
phone playing games. I was like, this movie
I wish
sucks.
there was more of that or something.
Yeah.
When I don't know her name. Oh, her name's Billy. That's Nancy's character.
Oh yeah, Billy.
Yeah. She was in that little trance trying to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
No context, no nothing. She just saw a bunch of ghosts and then she woke up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what the fuck was the point of that?
No. Yeah.
You
I don't-
just stabbed him in the eye?
Yeah. She just poked
He's
his
a
eye.
fucking demon.
Yeah, or a ghost.
He was like,
But-
ow, what the fuck?
It was like that's when I was like, okay, they're like stealing, not steal. Well, at that point, it felt like stealing. I'm like, okay, they were like, how do we have this cool idea? How do we make it so they can fight back? We're like, oh, have you seen Nightmare on Elm Street? Like that's what it
That
felt
or
like.
Evil Dead, where it just keeps repeating the same shit over in his head
Yeah.
to keep playing.
Hmm.
It's like the book; it's talking to you.
Well, I mean, like
Yeah.
when she like fought back and poked his eye, it was
Yeah.
like, oh, like you can only hurt Freddy and when you bring him into the real world. That's where I was like, okay, this is like they they couldn't figure out how they're gonna end this movie, and they were like, well, what do other movies do? Like that's what it felt like.
Mhm.
It was like,
You know what it is?
What?
It's like these relatively new like I don't know. These like relatively new like heavy hitter young quote unquote I'm
Mhm.
doing air quote actors and they're
Yeah.
like we need to put them in movies
yeah,
and then the movie's then written after they decide who's going to be in it. They're like
Yeah.
we need that guy, we need that girl and then that's going to make a film. Now we have
that's
to write
true.
and like it's just like bad.
because they're like everyone's gonna come see this movie because
Exactly.
Nancy from
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things is in it.
And then that like sex ed guy.
Also
Yeah.
Butterfield. But this
He
is
was
like
so bad too. God,
Yeah,
his like
he
stupid glare.
was.
Like, come on.
he's just
I
staring
didn't
at
buy
them
it
the
at
whole time.
all. I
No,
didn't buy it. He's too
when he
goofy looking.
when he turns evil and stuff, I didn't buy that at all.
Or they like need to play into it. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like my like point of references aren't like that expansive, but I just like, I miss when like the kids like didn't in like horror movies. Yeah, they were probably like 30 or whatever, but like they didn't look like TikTokers. Like
They do.
the students,
That's
not the students. The
true.
kids are like so unserious in these films now that I'm like, I want like a dirtier kid,
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, what college are you going to? You're 30.
literally.
We
That's
can
like
tell.
It's
what's
so
it called?
weird.
Did you see the new Texas Chainsaw that was on Netflix?
No.
They kind of were
Mhm.
like that too, where it just
Oh
feels
wait,
like-
yeah. Oh my god. We don't need to make these. They're like
Yeah.
so like nail on the head. It's like so ridiculous and boring.
yeah.
That movie sucked.
It
was
did.
like cool that everybody got cut the fuck up, but like
Mhm.
you don't like
No.
a fucking scene of like unloading people from a bus and they all have their phones in their hands. Like shut the fuck up. We get it. We get
Yes.
it. I know it's 2023, but like shut the fuck up.
It's still a horror
You don't
movie.
need it.
It was
something.
like they like it was some.
It's
It
not
felt
good.
like if you dropped somebody from the '90s into our time period, said, "This is go walk around outside, and then we want you to make a movie, the same movie, but today." And they just spent a day outside. We're like, "Well, this is what I saw," and they made that movie, and it was
But what's
that's
annoying is I
different.
feel like you don't even see that shit.
No, not that
Like,
bad.
when you walk around, I'm
It was
like,
just so overboard when they did that movie.
That's like also in this movie, that fucking girl, and I'm saying this as a queer person, there's a 5-second portion where she's like, I'm a lesbian. And then
Yeah.
it's like, I'm sorry, nobody gives a
Yeah.
fuck. It plays no relevant plot point. Also, if it's not like going to be a good plot point, don't include it in the plot point.
Yes.
And it just makes it stupid. Also, if you want us to know there's a lesbian in the film, hire a dyke.
Yeah.
Or like, I'm sorry, I know when there's a lesbian in the film.
Were they trying to make a connection, like her and the girl being friends? Like she's gonna save her because she's in love with her? Because she's
But then
But then they
do
didn't.
that.
They don't.
It was
do that.
ridiculous.
They don't.
Exactly. Ugh, yeah, like let me sacrifice myself for my best friend that I'm like in love with.
That
I'm
There's also like
secretly
a
in love with.
crazy like queer trope. It's just like
That so is in horror movies nowadays.
and oh god. And then yeah, it's just like so boring.
Yeah.
So boring.
Yeah, I was bored, man. Like boring is the best way to put it. Because
No.
I was playing on my phone after you left.
Mhm.
I think even when you were here, I was fucking around on my phone. I was like, this movie does not have my attention. It sucked because when you showed me the trailer, I was like, that
It
looks
looks good.
fucking good.
but then again, they put everything in
That's
the
true.
trailer.
They
Yeah.
did. They
Yeah.
did.
Him getting possessed,
Yeah.
obviously.
Him
Him
hanging the
killing
guy.
people.
Yeah.
Obvious.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You could guess what happened.
Mm-hmm. So they put the two major things in the trailer, and they're like, "All right,
Right.
watch it." And it's like they thought of like 6 different things, and they try to squeeze it all into one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But with no exit direction, so it was all just wild.
Yeah. And what was crazy too was like it. Man, I lost my thought. Damn.
That's what happened. When I finished the movie, I was folding laundry, so it wasn't like I was exactly paying attention to it,
You don't
Mhm.
need to.
but I got the gist of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it did
yeah.
terrible on Rotten Tomatoes.
It did. You
it
looked
did.
it up.
It's 40%.
That's fair.
That's
And
bad.
the guy that produced it, he also wrote like 2 other movies for Netflix.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's the other thing.
Are they already
Netflix
out?
Directors.
Yeah,
Come
that
on.
movie Extraction.
Which one?
Extraction.
The first one I liked. The second one was
he
fucking awful.
did that one, directed that one.
You know,
The first one or the second?
The
Or
first
both?
one. The first one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the second one was bad. But yeah,
I think the cast was just odd.
that was true too.
it's weird.
It was just like a mix match. Like what he said was just oh, let's put these people in because everybody loves them.
And it's just the sister, him, and then the mom. The mom is a bigger actress as well.
Yeah.
Those are the only 3 that were like named.
Mm-hmm.
Also, unpopular opinion. I feel like I love long movies.
Yeah.
What I hate like short form content like makes people's attention spans. Like you said, there's like 6 things that they crammed into this. Like, make it longer and make it good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
Give it a story.
Like, literally, like I think of like Scream and like those kids. Yes, like visibly adults, but like at least they're like they all have like a personality,
Like quirky,
they're,
like young.
cool, weird, and dirtier. And then also that movie like feels long because there's like a story that unfolds.
Well,
I think
they-
a big thing is that what you're thinking of is something I talked about. I think it was what we went on a long tangent about. If you listen to Pandorum, like it was a long fucking
is.
tangent where I bitched about movies nowadays have 0 character development.
Yeah,
You want to make a movie where you care about these characters. You want to
Yeah.
see them live. You
Yeah.
don't want to see them hurt or
Yeah.
die. And in this movie, I didn't give a fuck. Like at one point, I thought her boyfriend was 2 different people because
yeah,
I was
there's
not
2 different similar characters.
right. And then I was like, wait, was that her boyfriend? And like when he like was kissing that girl, I think it was you. I was like, is that her boyfriend? And you're like, yeah. I'm like, I thought that was someone else. Like that's how much
Yeah.
interest I have in these
I was
people.
kind of like so bored by that whole thing.
Yeah.
And then like the whole like
And even then,
him
that doesn't.
cheating. I was like, okay.
Okay.
And then-
what the fuck was the point of that?
Nothing comes from that either.
Yeah.
Because obviously she left.
Okay. Wait. This is a tangent. You know how I was just talking shit? Okay, hold on.
All right, I'm down.
Sorry.
We got
This
a
is-
short
this
episode
is-
here. I'm down.
This is completely tangential and has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but there was this movie that just came out with fucking Pete Davidson in it
Yeah.
where they're all trapped in a mansion and the power goes out. And it's like a bunch of like Gen Z ass kids.
Oh,
And there's, like, murders that
I know
happen.
what you're talking
Have
about.
you seen it?
No, I want
okay,
to.
it's so fucking silly and it's literally like TikTok is like actually a part of it.
Oh,
But high key like good.
it looked good.
Like shitty, messy slasher with like Gen Z kids like doing drugs.
Oh, is it Bodies?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, high key loved that movie.
Everyone said it was
Like,
really good.
We should do that
Character
while you're
development,
here.
Total slasher vibes. Just like Gen Z can't like camp as fuckery. Like it's just so stupid that it's like, but you can't. It's good. It's so stupid.
The other
It's-
actors in
it's-
that movie are really good too.
Yeah.
They're also
We should do that while-
also, all
while-
those kids, amazing at acting.
Yeah.
I'm literally getting chills. It was just like it's not even that good. Anyone listening who's gonna see it's not that good, but it's like compared to this, like
Oh yeah.
if you want to make a Gen Z film with all these like actors and like these tropes, like fucking play into it. Like there's
yeah.
fucking lesbians in that, and like
I heard there's a really good soundtrack on there.
it's
too.
good. It's
Oh,
good.
man. And like what you said,
Ugh.
you like campy.
Yeah,
And
lean into it.
and that it felt when I watched the trailer, it felt like that more. Where it wasn't like how you said Texas Chainsaw, where they all come out and they're with their phones and shit streaming.
Well, they played heavily on the fact that they live in Salem. Add to that.
And yeah,
Yo,
what
that's the other thing
fuck?
too. They
Oh my
mentioned
God.
it.
You live in Salem, and then she makes this whole 20-minute long thing in the beginning that explains to where they live, why they live there,
Yeah.
and the history. You showed nothing of the
Nothing.
rest.
Yeah,
I would
no,
have
it was
shown people
bullshit.
that live there, been like, why would you go and this X whatever place? Don't
Yeah.
go there. Don't go to this area. Don't go to that area.
That
Yeah,
yeah,
because this
That
whole
also
thing
just,
could have played in
Yeah.
any city
Yeah.
or any town anywhere in the country, but they were like, "Oh, it's in Salem."
yeah, Salem had nothing to do with
And
it.
you're the only people around for
Literally.
40 feet
Yeah, the
in
only
each direction.
the only reason they made it like Salem was because they were like,
The
"Oh,
witches."
We went. They tried me as a witch.
Yeah.
that was it.
Yeah, no shit, bitch.
You could have been back
That's
in the day. It
why.
wasn't just Salem where they did that. It was just Salem. They did that on the mass exodus that they
Because
did.
that's like the big.
Yeah.
We
Also,
wrote
like-
books and books and books about it.
Make
Yeah.
it like cuter and more like fun to look at. Like there's so many films that I feel like play into Salem or like anything like lean into the witch vibes. They mention it at the beginning
Yeah,
and then it's
that
like
was it.
over
was
and
it.
it's like okay. That didn't need it's like literally shut up. It's like without that it probably
And
would have been better. And then all that 20 minutes, fill it with cooler shit. Character development.
There was nothing.
There
it
was
was like a water
nothing.
tower and some homes.
Literally.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't
okay.
give a fuck when anyone
But you
died. I
live
was
in
like,
the fucking boonies?
Also, why the fuck did they have her like do the narration? Because she sounded like
'Cause-
shit.
yeah.
That's her.
Oh, the other thing too was I remember. I think it was.
It's
I
Nancy.
think we all agreed on. Yeah, it's her. was like when they're like, "Oh, we're going to a party," and they went there and it was two people.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Two people that wasn't in their core group of friends playing beer pong. It's like,
Mika was like,
wait, so
is
you
that a
guys,
fucking party?
you guys are the party.
It's a fucking
You guys
kickback.
showed up and there were two other people already there. So you,
Also, please murder me. Like,
Yeah, they had to
fact
play on the fact that they were at a party and they were all drinking beer. One beer. You can still run from something.
Yep.
yeah,
Make something come after them.
Remember when
yeah.
fucking Jason just like macheted everybody at a cornfield?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Freddy versus Jason.
That's a
The-
party.
That's a
Another
party. That's a fucking party.
one that got me though is a girl sitting there after Nancy left,
Mm-hmm.
and in the smoke she can see the brother's outline, and then she kind of like looks again and he's gone. I was like, okay, that's cool,
See, I missed it. I wasn't paying attention. I
because
was
it was
over
like a
it,
2
man.
second thing, and then he disappears for like a good 5 minutes, and then the whole kissing each other comes up.
Yeah, they kept like I say it all the time. Don't introduce a gun unless you're going to use it, and that's what they
Mhm.
did in this movie. They introduced like what was said about, oh, I'm a lesbian, and that was it.
So
Okay.
And then there was the boyfriend cheating.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then there was one other thing that we mentioned where they said something and they didn't expand on
Yeah.
it.
That's it.
What's annoying too is I feel like there's like really good tropes in horror that like works. Like
Yeah.
the slasher genre stays alive because it works. Like it is exactly what it is, and it works. They're all good. Like you're saying that like scene where he's like in the fog. Like I feel like what's so good. Like that's such a good trope that
Yeah.
always works. The like person in the bushes looking.
Yeah.
Like we're all scared of that person. Like
Mhm.
I
Of the Watcher,
I'm
like kind of
totally. You know, Wendy Williams always talks about the stalker or whatever. What is it? Is it the stalker? Y'all know Wendy Williams?
thing. No,
Mhm.
is she the comedian?
No,
She
the
like has
re-
a show, talk show
daytime-
host.
yeah,
Anyways,
talk
but
show
she always
host.
talks about like the person following you. I forget what she says, but it's funny. But she's like, it's like the Watcher or some shit. But,
Yeah.
like everybody's scared of that fool. You know?
Yeah.
Like I'm scared to be. I'm like paranoid. Our landlord has like cameras in our house. He
I'm-
doesn't. But
I'm
just,
always
like,
worried about being like followed home.
But like those
like,
tropes
things
in
like
these
that.
like films work, and it's like I don't know what this new formula is. That's this like date night horror that I like mentioned last time we sat down to record. But it's like who the like
You spent all this time and money making this story and having these very highly named actors and actresses in it, and then it just goes.
literally.
He
I'm
literally
convinced
just
it's to get
flops.
like 19-year-olds to like it's like 19-year-old like Netflix and chill vibe.
Which is funny
Yeah.
because
quick film. Nancy.
Nancy and the guy that Asa Butterfield, they're way over the age of being a teenager.
And they like
And
coke addicts.
That
Just kidding.
and
I don't know.
you know they're on these other projects that are earning them like millions of fucking dollars.
Yeah,
There has to be some sort of like giveaway here that they did this movie.
so embarrassing.
It obviously didn't do well because it just went straight to streaming services. I didn't even see it come out in theater.
Me neither. I didn't know
She has
about
to
it till
pay
you
for her
said.
coke. That's why she did
That's
it.
true.
Yeah, I was not a fan. I wouldn't. And what bugged me was I was so hyped when you showed me the trailer and we had just gotten this soundboard, and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna buy it and we're gonna do it. I paid for that.
I know.
It was after I watched it. I was like,
Oh, you paid for that?
I
yeah,
paid for
because we
that.
wanted to watch it.
it looked so good, and I'm
Wow.
happy. That was like when we saw Bones and all. I was like, I was
Oh
gonna
my
buy that
God.
when I was still up in Montana. I was gonna do an episode
Have
on
you
it.
seen that?
I just watched it.
I watched that and then Knock at the Cabin last night, catching
Yeah,
them
that
up
one was
to
good.
the movies that that are going to be coming out
Mhm.
soon. What was the other one we watched recently that we did an episode on? We did Pandorum, Hellraiser, the new. Have you seen the new Hellraiser on Hulu?
Yeah, that one's also whatever.
That one was whatever, but I
I mean,
like
it's still pretty.
I watched
just,
rewatched it.
I
Oh,
like Hellraiser. It holds up.
Halloween Ends.
You know what I've
Oh,
actually
that's
never
right.
seen all the way through is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
The originals.
Yeah,
Did I tell you? I got a good
want
story
to.
that
I
you
heard they're
might
fucked up. I
you
wanna
might
watch
laugh.
them.
Remember how AMC around this time does like 30 Days of Horror
Yeah.
or whatever. So when I lived in Oxnard with mom and it was just me and mom,
Uh huh.
and we were not on Woolly but on Driftwood,
Yeah.
that just 2 bed 1 bath.
Yeah.
I was up late watching them, and I think it was the third one. I forgot which one, but it was like a car flips over and then they're like walking down the road like in the middle of the night, and I'm sitting there like, this is fucking scary. Like, this is actually kind of scary. And the next thing I know, like, I'm so focused on the movie, I don't see mom standing in the doorway.
Oh God.
So I turned and I'm like, oh my god, because
That's scary.
like, you leatherface looking motherfucker.
I would
Like,
have hit her.
I was on the couch laying down, and it was so funny. But like you're saying that they were creepier and scary. Like those, yeah, that they got to me.
Well, it's like if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
And like when they release a horror movie that follows the good formula, it still works. Like
Right.
all of these like haunting ones. Like, have you seen that movie Veronica?
Yes, on
No.
Netflix.
Like that. It's
That
great.
was fucking
and it
scary.
and it's like based on a
thought it
true story, but it's also like as a movie follows like very simple like
Mhm.
possession, haunting, creepy, like it, and also amazing like rock and Espanol like soundtrack.
Yeah.
But it's like it's so just it was so good.
Is that still on Netflix? You know?
Yeah,
Is it? We
Should
should
be.
do that one too because
It's
you'd
good.
like
I
that.
haven't seen it.
It's really good.
Very
it's creepy.
good.
Specifically because someone said it was fucking scary, and I
It's
haven't
scary.
watched it.
It's
yet.
actually scary. Like
Yeah.
I watched it and I was like, this is actually scary. Like
Or there's
Babadook was
also,
one movie
like-
that scared me that wasn't an alien movie.
It did the first time.
Yeah, we tried to rewatch Babadook
Like,
the other day and I
it
was
was
like the
awful.
same.
Even-
I was
I
like,
hate Babadook.
I
Even
loved
like
it.
zombie movies, I feel like when they try to like reinvent the wheel with zombie movies, it's such a
Mhm.
failure. And then what, like 3 years ago or something, like Train to Busan comes out and it like follows
Oh
like
yeah.
it's a pretty standard zombie movie.
Yeah, there's
But, like-
zombies and there's people trying to get away from it.
But then it's like really, it's like good.
It
And
is.
it's also like beautiful. Like what happened to cinematography?
The
Like,
visual
it's
of
just
that
like it looks
was
good.
amazing.
Like, and it's also crazy. Like it's just like I don't know. Like seeing that
Nope.
old lady get eaten is pretty sad.
Oh yeah, she doesn't do
Couldn't make me
aliens
do
or
it.
she doesn't
Oh
do
my god,
zombies.
Nope was so good.
I loved Nope.
Also, so like nuance.
Well,
poetry.
that's why
like,
a lot of
let's-
people are trying to, because you know that you have
You don't need much to like
No.
fucking make.
You
a
have
good spooky
A24.
thing. Yeah,
and you have all these other people that are independently coming out with horror movies, and then you have Jordan Peele who's doing that. They're trying to be as good as that,
right.
but it doesn't have any follow through. There's no storyline.
No. No.
I'm sure that if we had
That's why they
the
succeed.
the fucking table read for this movie, we could
right.
literally add a beginning, a
Literally.
middle, and an end, and still have the original parts.
That's
in
why
it.
Right.
Signs holds up.
Yeah.
They're like it also like it is like a silly movie, and I know I just like love it a lot. But like like sometimes like the story building is like a little too like didactic, but it's like good still. Like it contributes to the story,
Yes,
and it also like gets you attached to these characters. Like small town, this guy still lives there. He's like trying to join the Marines, and he's like a small town like hit a
It's
fucking
relevant.
home run, and then later he's like swinging a bat at the alien. But like it's also like okay, cool. Like I feel like I'm in a small town, and this guy like is a loser because he hasn't left, and like wants to join the military to get out or something. I don't know.
Well, big thing too, what you mentioned that
Weird.
kind of brings back like what we were talking about, where these movies introduce things that they think they're going to move the plot forward, and they don't. There's no comeback to it, or there's no benefit of introducing these things to the plot.
Right.
Where what you were
Or
just
we already
saying,
know, like it's already implied.
Yeah.
Like we could have guessed, like
I keep
the,
punching
like-
my mic.
the like gentrifier heavy story of the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like we could have guessed. You're showing up in this town with the Tesla wanting to buy it. You don't need to be screaming gentrifier. We know
No.
they're gentrifiers,
Yeah.
and I want to see them die.
But like going back, like so that,
God.
and then
And it contributes nothing.
in Signs when you were saying he was famous for
Yeah.
just swinging, and then at the end he swings the bat. You
Yeah.
know, like they introduce something to move the plot forward and then bring it all together at the end. But
Oh.
being more vague, like you just said about the Texas Chainsaw, is the way to do it nowadays.
or just being like so aware and clear. Like you don't need to think of a new way to bring these people to this fucking town, because before it was just people hitchhiking, like in
Yeah.
not hitchhiking. They were like in
they're
a van
traveling,
in the first one.
traveling through
to
Texas.
go somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's like you don't need to make it new, because then it's just like I don't know a single person who like watches something like that and doesn't roll their eyes. Like
Right.
I sit like all I do with my roommates is watch movies, and we're all queer people, and anytime there's like something like irrelevantly queer on a movie, we all like roll our eyes and we're like, all right, here we go. It like sets the tone of the movie. Like
Yeah.
we're gonna we're like, okay, we get it. This like you're trying to like we just know it's gonna be a bad movie if it's not done like tastefully or like
which is kind of ridiculous
aware
because
of,
they're
like-
already gentrifying the fact that they're in this era, and then they're gonna go and write something that's
Right.
completely off base.
also just like leave me out of it. Like I don't want to be in your stupid fucking movie.
Yeah, like I remember you talked about like
Also,
this
stop
is
making
way
us look
back
so
different.
good. Like we're not all good people.
You're like, why would I
Sorry.
be there?
Literally, I'm
Why
like,
would I be
yeah,
there?
also that.
Hello?
Like, why the fuck? Y'all got me.
None of
fucked
you,
up.
none of you looked at this itinerary.
I want also yeah,
Or even
like, hold up.
Texas?
Like if you're gonna make a
Yeah,
fucking like queer like
Texas.
Why would you go to
no,
Texas?
if you want to make a cool queer horror film, gay bar,
Hello.
club, like what the fuck? Like what's the bloody the
Or no.
Valentine's Day
Or no,
one? where
prom
there's, like,
night.
yes,
Do prom
do
night
something
in
like
a gay
that.
bar.
Literally, that would be so fun
And
and,
again,
fucked up.
you're
That
not
would make- well,
rewriting anything.
I
You're
guess that's
making
really-
a good,
Relevant.
relevant horror movie. But instead, and like you said, don't fix was
yeah.
not broke. Prom night wasn't broke. You had some dude that was chasing the girl at prom. And
Mhm.
now all you have to do is do the same thing. And if you want to, like he said, to involve a different group, put them in a different in their
Yeah.
in
In their
their
context.
in their context or their space.
I guess also though maybe would be in really bad taste to like make a weird murder movie and
I
like a
mean,
gay club getting all
it's
the
like
gay
50
clubs
yeah.
that get
Oh,
shot
no,
up.
like
no,
50-50,
that's true. That's
really.
true.
But I
that
guess-
does look
Because
really
people are
bad.
like, what
point
the
is,
fuck are
it's
you
like-
doing?
It's like, oh God, I don't know. It's just like
It's a double-edged sword.
It is
I'm just like, well, I don't
because you
I'm
don't
like,
want to piss people off, though,
No.
too.
But then
Exactly,
because then they're pissed off because they're like, what the fuck is this?
because then you're forcing it.
Well,
You're
also,
like,
Yeah.
they're like, oh, we
historically,
have to
like-
do this to include them,
Well,
and it's like, but you're doing it so distastefully. It's like
Here's-
spitting in their face.
here's the
and it's
thing, too.
fucked.
and I don't know. This is good. This could be a tangent, but like my research right out of undergrad in my art practice and my research going into grad school was centered around the inherent queer-coded nature of horror, the horror genre. Horror's been queer forever. There's like Dracula, Dr. Dracula, gay as fuck. Frank, like,
this is
what
true
was it?
though.
Like,
Yeah.
Frankenstein?
Mhm.
Who made Dr. Dracula made Frankenstein? Whatever.
Dr. Frankenstein made
Made-
the
Oh, yeah,
Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah,
Monster.
gay. He went to a cemetery. Also, Dracula was made in response to Oscar Wilde's imprisonment and forced labor, and was about queer nightlife and the fact that gays can only be themselves out at night.
Yeah.
Dracula was that, and then also like, Frankenstein, Dr. Frankenstein making Frankenstein's monster went to the cemetery, dug up, and picked the most attractive body parts from a man. He was making his fuck boy.
Yeah.
And then also, daughter of Frankenstein literally got banned for a bit, or like there was sanctions put
bride?
on it or
The
something.
bride?
No, daughter,
I haven't seen that.
because she was a lesbian, and like the
Oh.
flyers were about being lesbian. It was like, keep your daughters away, da 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 da. Like, and then so they had to like rewrite it and like it would change it completely.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Sleepaway camp, like all
Oh,
these
that,
things.
Oh,
oh my
yeah.
god! And Sleepaway Camp is so
like,
good, and they
literally-
did that. They did that so well
It's
too.
this really fucked up movie, but it's still
Yeah,
like,
but you're not spitting in the face of these people just because you're what's it called? It feels like, I think the best way to put it is you're like, oh, we're
Well,
gonna
it's
we're
just
gonna show
already-
their stereotypes to make them know this person is
exactly
queer.
Yeah.
And
You
it's
might
like,
as well
no,
just
that,
put like a sign on their
Right,
head
exactly.
that says this person's queer. Okay, thanks. We didn't get that already.
And it's like,
Yeah.
this genre is already so queer coded. Like, queers love Halloween and horror. There's literally a whole TV show about like bloody drag queens called Dragula,
there is.
and it's amazing. And they have some of the best horror knowledge of anyone. Like, queer people find this genre
Yeah.
for its like cast off nature and its abject nature, because they can relate to the fucked up nature of their lives to these like fucked up weird films. So it's
Mhm.
like, you don't need to like do the labor because we've been doing it forever. Like,
Yeah.
it's so interesing. Yeah, like you said, like playing into the stereotypes.
Yeah.
It's like,
That's the
man,
big
like,
thing is the
come on,
stereotypes.
like, leave me alone.
What makes you think I'm gonna fucking be here?
Also, like, I'm tired of like seeing like rich queer people. I'm like, most of my friends are poor. We're all queer. I'm like, be realistic. Like, we don't have jobs. You don't need to make us look nice. All right. Like, we're real too. I don't know. Horrible movie though.
it was,
It was
man.
bad.
What was
I-
that tangent? I don't even know what that tangent was.
It's
But
fine.
it started
guess-
with character building and then forcing
That's the thing too. Like,
things.
let us relate to the characters.
Yes.
Like, the characters are there. Like, develop them. Let us relate to them on our own.
Yeah, like
don't force
the
it down.
There was
my
not.
favorite
You
is,
find it
Scream,
there.
is like Scream.
Literally.
The first one. Like what's oh my god, I can't believe I'm fucking up his name. Kennedy. I know his last name's Kennedy. Jamie Kennedy? Is that his
Yes.
name? His character, like, because of like my addiction to horror and stuff, like when I saw him, I related to him so much. And then when he died in the second one, I was like devastated when those first came out. And that's like another thing, like we're saying, like, let me relate to the character.
Mhm.
Just put a character, and all those characters in Scream felt normal.
Literally the new Scream.
I saw the fifth one. I didn't see the one that just came out where they're in New York.
Okay.
Yeah, we haven't.
Okay.
But-
Well, never mind then. I won't
Well,
spoil anything.
it was-
But
Don't.
character development.
Was
It,
it better? Because
well,
the
no,
number
it's-
5 was fucking trash.
Well, it's still kind of bad. But
you
it's
see
like,
5?
But I don't remember what happens in 5. But
I've watched
I
it
might have.
twice.
But I feel like in the new one, at least there's like continuity with like
Mhm.
these like character stories that is like you can appreciate it as a fan.
Yeah,
And also like what's her name, Jenna Ortega, like she's pretty good in horror.
she is.
Yeah.
Have you seen
She looks scared.
the babysitter?
All the time.
The
Babysitter's
babysitter.
Club.
No.
No. The babysitter.
Yeah.
It's on Netflix. They did 2 of them. She's
First
in
one
the
was
second
trash.
one. Really, I like
I
the
did
first
not like
one.
it.
where they like try to sacrifice the kid or whatever while he's sleeping, or they try to get his blood.
Oh my god.
I liked it.
Those are good. I can't remember the actress's name in the first one though. That nobody really likes.
Really?
I don't like her.
I didn't relate or care to any of the characters in this movie. I don't even remember what it's called. Like my brain doesn't let me remember what the
keep
title
forgetting
of
what
this
it's
is.
called. I tried to type it in earlier. I had to fucking type
I
the
have it written
address.
down. All fun and games.
All fun and knife games.
Another
knife play.
thing was that he found that knife, and between whenever the fuck the witches were alive till then, that was it. You're
Yeah.
telling me no one found that other fucking
Literally.
knife?
Ugh,
Yeah.
No one?
so stupid.
So you're not going to show anyone previous
Right.
that has
would've
been.
so interesting.
That's what I mean. You're going to go automatically. Why him?
Yeah.
Why the little kid? Because he rode past on his fucking bicycle?
And the big thing that I've mentioned like 1,000 times is why do they read it? Why? Like I never read. If I pick something up, I never go and read it out
Right.
loud. Every movie they got to read out loud. That's why the way
Bella
evil.
Thorne.
Oh, who?
Bella Thorne. She's in the first one.
When evil, let
That's
me see.
funny.
I want to make sure you have the right movie. When Evil Dead rises,
Yeah.
they do it a little different. They do it like how the original Evil Dead. Yeah, these movies were good. You didn't like them?
Eh.
I like this. The second one, Jenna Ortega's in too.
Yeah,
You know
I don't
what
like
I don't
Bella
get
Thorne. She's
also is
annoying.
like I feel like it didn't like explain like I was like so it just like gives us a little backstory of the knife, but then I'm
Mhm.
like okay, but like why? Like
It was
what
so quick
like
too.
but it could be quick, but like can you tell me what's going on? Because I feel like in Evil Dead,
Yeah.
it's like quite quick. They like shoot that chick's head off, and I
Yeah.
know exactly
Where it's going.
what's informing all of this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's
I'm
like,
like
where
they're
they
trying to exorcise this girl, and then her spirit's there, and then it's like
they tried to
So
show
clear.
the beginning of
Right.
the one boy getting possessed, killing all the other people, and then when the witch is there, she goes back and tells you why he's doing it.
Yeah.
There's also no in between in there. So they killed the boy, and then automatically he's haunting that. No, she said that there's been.
Well, she said it was
she
hit
said-
from his leg or something. It's his bone.
Yes, and
but
then
that's
she
about
said
it.
when it happened, she wasn't a witch. But then when they accused her of it, she's like, "Well, I'm gonna fucking figure it out." How long?
Yeah.
How long in
Right.
between?
oh Eve.
What the fuck? How are you supposed to know?
I just love that we all.
So
did
it was
not
like from
get
like
this
the
much.
what 1800s to like 1809. What is there like a couple years that happened?
Yeah, like how long does it take for you to get that good at witchcraft?
Mhm.
That
And
you're
then
just like one day you're like I'm gonna do this.
yeah, and then okay, so that guy killed everybody. The one teenage boy in fucking
Yeah.
Salem, he killed the two little kids. And so how did he come out of that?
Yeah.
Did he die?
Well, he killed himself.
That's true,
He cut his
I
throat.
guess. But then there's no context.
It's like okay, so you got your revenge like on the people who hurt him, and it was just the people who. It wasn't like the whole community of Salem where it's
Mhm.
like oh we have to make sure everyone in Salem pays. It was like it was just this group of kids. Well, you got your revenge. Why are you still fucking with people?
Also, no one went after you when you were killing people.
Literally.
Yeah,
It's the fucking Pilgrim times, yo.
yo, yeah.
Nobody want to come after
They
you.
burnt you at the stake if you waved your hand at the same time that something happened to fall and they thought you were a witch.
Yeah.
And you're out there killing people with a knife.
I mean, you can, poo a little funny and you die in that era. Like,
I was literally about to say they
no.
burned me at the stake for having diarrhea.
Yeah, like a dysentery and then you die. But this kid is over there slashing like these two little girls' throats. It's fine. It'll figure itself out.
Oh
But they
my
also
God,
live in
what
the
an
fucking middle of
awful
nowhere.
I almost wish that they just like didn't include it at all. Like
What,
the
the-
backstory, because
Oh,
then
yeah.
maybe it'd be like fun to be like, oh, was it like about witches, or
Yeah,
did he actually
and then
have
they
a
can
psychotic
research
breakdown?
it and go into
Or do
town
that, or
and
like
figure
go figure it out.
Yeah.
Like in It,
like I was about to say it. He went and looked at the fucking library.
long ass
That-
fucking
yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
You
Also,
watch that movie?
Where
you
they had
think
to,
it's-
were
oh,
both of them,
God.
both versions, they had to do 2 parts. That's how long they were.
Also, you left that uncle just hanging in the tree. No one drove by.
Oh, yeah.
No one saw him. No,
It is Salem's not in the South, right?
I have no fucking clue. As I
Salem,
Google it.
Massachusetts.
Oh,
I mean,
Massachusetts.
it's
I always forget.
Massachusetts. But again, also the mom. No one's gonna.
Oh yeah. Well, they took their phones, which I thought was dumb. It's like, but still,
She's
nobody.
like, I'm gonna go to the hospital. Bye. Okay, but are you ever gonna check on your kids?
Yeah, you're not gonna text uncle or something.
Was it also Texas Chainsaw Massacre by Rob Zombie, where they like
No,
he like goes to the hospital?
he did.
Or no, what did he do?
He
Friday
did
the 13th?
Halloween's,
Oh,
and then
okay.
where they go to the hospital.
And Jason like stabs people. I don't know where I was going with that, but I like when like the killer like is like brazen and just like goes
To
where
public
they go.
places.
Yeah, I'm like, where's-
Jason does that. He did that Friday versus Jason. I think. Well, even then in Jason, he went. I forgot which one. He was like walking down New York, in New York. But like you said, like especially when like they don't give a fuck and they're brazen like that. It was in Scream. Several of the Screams, they go to
Right.
the hospital. He goes to the hospital to fuck them up.
I'm just like, well, because I'm always like, why don't these people like run further.
They go to
Like,
their
get on
local.
the road and just start walking.
Like
Also-
the alien one we just watched. What did she do? She got in a bus and was leaving town.
Yeah.
She didn't run
And
to
that movie
the.
was
That
good.
bitch lives in the middle of nowhere. She still figured it out.
Yeah, she
Literally.
didn't just run to the local place to hide. Like she didn't run to the next door neighbor and go, "We're gonna hide here. They'll never find us." Well, bitch, they just saw you.
Hiding in a haystack, sweetheart.
Why'd you stop
I'm
running?
gonna cover my whole face.
What the?
He's never gonna see me.
I'm not a fit person, but I've ran before. Like when we used to be little punk kids, we would do things. If somebody yelled "Hey," we would run from the end of the block way down there, Cowgrove, all the way home.
Also, a guy's
Nonstop.
threatening to kill you, and he's like saying hide and seek.
Run.
Like,
Why hide? Just run
Just
run all together.
Well, they
as a group.
they
One
did
versus
run.
10 or 5, whatever the fuck it
the
was.
one kid with really long hair, the little mean fucker.
Yeah,
He's took 2 steps and was right behind him and snatched him up.
Yeah.
Okay. Where
Oh,
the fuck did
brother.
you come from?
yeah. You're just on them like
You're
flies
just-
on shit.
That's it. Really fast.
Such
okay.
a bad movie.
Again, how long did it take you to get from your little party place to your house? Because that was a barn in the middle of fucking nowhere. Who owns the barn? Nobody knows. The person
The party planner.
the person that owned the barn didn't come on and be like, "What the fuck are you guys doing?" You didn't hear anybody screaming?
Yeah, that was the other thing too. You did, like the first like just the kid with the long hair. Nobody heard him die. Like
Nobody?
running up to a random house. I guarantee you, we would hear someone running up to the door
Also,
screaming.
the sister left because she's like, "Oh my god, my boyfriend kissed another girl." You didn't hear anything? You didn't hear anything at all?
See, it was funny because
How
I
far
wasn't
were
paying
you
attention
walking?
to that.
Ugh.
Oh yeah, because she walked. She didn't book
She
it.
was like, "I'm pissed." Left. Then the brother is like, "He hung him."
Ay, Dios. I like don't even. I just like I
And then she's
hear,
like,
I'm being
"Who?"
reminded of it, and I'm like, I hate it. Like I
Getting
hate
frustrated.
that I have to think about it. I just like the like whole cheating thing. I'm like,
There's
we don't.
because they wanted to make sure that she left. Doesn't matter because the
Oh
little
my
brother
God.
showed up, made him go back.
They act like
Yeah.
the characters have like no agency. Also, like, I don't
Also,
even know.
if I
it's
was-
so irrelevant. Like, don't.
If I was 17 living in the middle of fucking nowhere with barns and shit, you couldn't catch me walking out by myself. Mm-mm.
No.
no.
Not in the world we live in. Not if you're trying to be gentrified and shit like that.
I don't even
Hell
do that in our
no.
neighborhood. Well, this one is fine. I mean, in San Diego.
Yeah.
And then
Hell no.
when I was in Montana, you had to worry about animals eating you.
That's
Yeah,
the
but that's-
same thing.
Yeah.
You're
That's what
just
I'm
gonna
saying,
walk
like-
off. You're not gonna tell anybody. What about your
They got
lesbian
bears
lover
up
best
there?
friend? That obviously she's gonna go after you too. Secondly, the other girl, why was she covered in blood?
Which one? I don't remember.
The blonde haired girl, their best friend.
That was the one who, because he didn't kill the girl when he cut her neck. He just cut her a little bit and then
Right,
sent
she's
her on her
still
way.
covered in blood.
Yeah, because her neck was cut. Wasn't that the one whose
No.
neck he cut?
It was the best friend.
The Leslie.
Yeah.
See, that's how much I didn't pay attention.
He shows up. She's already covered in blood.
I don't remember that.
And then she goes to find them and she's like, "Look, I'm covered in blood." How? What did you do? How did you get there?
Oh my
Struck by a car.
See, I
What
don't remember that.
happened?
I was
Yeah.
not.
And I was really confused. Another part was when they're playing tag with the light.
Did you guys all heard that, right?
That was scary.
I live in a very haunted house, and I don't know if the mics picked that up, but something just fell. But anyways,
That was something in the sink.
yeah, I think it was just the dishes
Sure.
settling.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go with that.
Great. When they were playing tag with the flashlights.
Yeah.
Why is it burning everybody else?
Because they burnt the kid with torches, and so that's why they said let's play tag. And so they were the torches, the
But wouldn't
lights.
it make sense that it would only burn the demon kid?
Yeah, that would make sense a
'Cause
little
he's
bit.
the one that is a demon.
And that he was the one
Otherwise,
that got
all
burnt.
of them would be possessed.
Yeah, in some sense, where the spirits would be in the whole place. But no, that's a dumb idea. I was thinking because like when they went into the world, they were like, oh, I want to play.
Like if
whatever.
they were all under the spell of the knife,
yeah,
when it's all like sepia toned and they're trying to
Mhm.
make sure. Okay, that makes sense.
right.
But all of them are in real life.
Yeah.
Why would you need to get burned?
Or if the spirits from the kids that he had killed were in them, but they weren't.
They weren't.
No, unless they were when they said I want to play, but they didn't explain. They didn't explain that.
Nope.
No.
It was like, yeah. Sorry.
It was a poo movie. Don't watch it.
Pooh movie. Don't
If you're gonna
recommend.
watch it, don't buy it.
Yeah,
I just
wait
just
till
wait.
it's free.
I feel like every horror movie already has a component of hide and seek, and it's like so much better.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
hiding underneath the table and then like scurrying out and getting dragged back under or something. Or
Yeah.
like
There's
getting
literally
dragged
a
from
movie
underneath it.
called Hide and Seek that was
Yeah.
good.
The
Did you see
hoe
that one?
Got
Yeah.
stabbed.
I watched that like when I
in
first
the
watched
hay.
it, I ended up watching it again later that
She
night.
can
I liked it
move.
that much, and then I watched it again the next day. I love that movie.
Also, him turning himself in. You just confessed to killing like what 6 people,
Yeah.
including your uncle.
Yeah.
Now you're going
Also,
to jail
you-
for the rest of your life. What's happening there? What are you gonna say? Insanity deal?
Insanity plea.
Also, if you don't remember it, don't say
That's what I'm saying.
anything. Like,
Well,
wait till one of
he
your
did kind of
bitches
remember it
snitch.
because when they got pushed into the closet, and it was him and the brother. He was like freaking out
like, I
because
know.
like
Yeah.
everything kept coming back to him.
Right.
And then he was like, "Get over it. Can you just open
Yeah,
the
the little
fucking
brother's
door?"
such a real one. He's
Yeah,
like,
he's like, "Shut the
"No,
fuck
you
up and get
didn't. It was
out."
the demon.
And the brother was like, "Okay, I'm ready." No, dude, hurry up.
I'm over it. That
Yeah.
movie was awful.
Now we got to go out there and see what ghosts touch the
There's, like,
dishes.
Yeah.
Just like such better movies.
There
They do,
is.
like the same shit.
It's okay.
You're
we'll
gonna
watch-
like Evil Dead Rises. I think
we
we
have
should
to do that one.
We should do that
I
one.
hope you guys like Bodies if you watch it.
We're
We
gonna
should
do
do
that
that
one
one.
too.
Yeah,
It's
'cause
like
you're here.
not
You're here
too-
for like another week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do that one.
We
We'll
got
do
time.
Evil Dead Rises, and then I want to do the one that you two recommended, the witch
Mhm.
one.
Which one?
I don't know.
Which witch?
You guys said something about a witch movie that you.
Oh, Practical Magic.
Practical Magic.
It's not a horror movie.
That's
It's not,
fine.
but
We-
it's
Is it
my
is it that
It's
like
literally-
Halloweenish?
Oh.
well, it's definitely
And it
Halloween.
has magic,
It's
real
magic and
witches.
spells.
I was
get an
literally
expo
thinking about it while we
marker
were
so I
And
can
talking
start
about
fucking
writing
Nicole
things.
Kidman and Sandra
Literally.
Bullock. They're my.
But I'm just like, there's so much development around like the witchcraft that goes into like what happens in that movie, and I'm just like, why? Like,
There's
put that-
possession in that one too.
Literally, put
Yeah.
some of that with the knife. I'm like, they do a bad spell, and then all the shit.
Oh, it's
like-
so good. I can't wait for you to watch it.
Okay, we'll do that one too. So we got a couple movies,
That's so funny.
but I'm pretty much. I don't know if you guys got more you want to say about this.
No,
or
because we could
we've
probably go
kinda-
off on a tangent about
Well,
how
I just-
terrible it is for like the next 2
I love
hours.
how like faggy the suggestions get when I get here too. I'm like, bodies, fucking
we need
practical magic.
We need it.
It's
we
so
need it. We
funny.
need a little flair because all we've
Well, I
done is
have
horror.
a list. I got a great.
I think
pure
the
horror
only
list.
thing that I've stepped away from horror was I did the newest Ghostbusters because I liked it so much that
Yeah.
I was like,
I liked it too.
I know me-
love Paul Rudd.
yeah, me and my buddy,
Paul Rudd can get it.
Yeah.
my old co-host, we went to the movies, and when we got out, I was like, oh my god, let's go home and record an episode on that. That was so good, and we went home and like right when we walked through the
liked
door,
it.
we recorded. But yeah, I'm good. You guys
Yeah.
good?
Fuck that movie.
Yeah, we're not allowed to it like really brought up a lot for me.
I'm gonna
How
blame
much
Nancy.
I like, don't like it. Also, I think that bitch sucks at acting. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna be the one to say it. Didn't like her in Stranger Things. I don't like any of them. Fuck all of them.
You don't like anything? What about the one
Slasher
that was
film.
in it?
Slasher film. IRL. Shoot all of them.
They should
Oh,
do-
Finn
sorry.
Wolfhard,
God.
the one that was in
Horrible.
It and Stranger
Bad,
Things.
bad,
was good
bad,
in
bad,
It.
He's
bad.
I think outside of the like acting world, he's kind of an asshole.
He's a tool.
Yeah, I think. Well, I mean, all
his
of them are.
characters are real.
Okay,
you know?
I do like Steve because I love Joe Carey,
Which one's Steve?
Eddie.
Oh,
the baby. Yeah, and Eddie. Obviously, those are the only two that do it for me.
Yeah.
wait, is Steve's not?
He's the
Like
babysitter.
little photo kid, right?
No, he's the babysitter, the hot one.
The one that like falls in love with a lesbian.
Robin, yeah.
I love that. They were good. I like them two together.
Mm-hmm.
Good example. Seamless integration of a lesbian. It just
Yeah,
works
exactly.
Literally like
It wasn't in your face.
sweetheart, we knew. You didn't have
Yeah.
to tell us.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Steve, but we all knew.
Sorry.
We saw her before she told you anything.
But it's cute still.
No, it was I like them.
And he keeps
Yeah.
I
her
haven't seen
secret the
that in
whole
so
time.
long. Yeah. Ally.
We love an ally. I love you, Joe Carey.
But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you for joining us, and we will be back with more amazing episodes.
Fuck Nancy.